Hey guys, so I chose 11.2 number 70. I'll give you guys a second to read the background info. But basically, there's three parts to the question. So we want to know what's the concentration after 3 doses, if Cn is the concentration after the nth dose, find a formula for Cn as a function of n, and what is the limiting value of the concentration. So for part A, in the background it says after the first dose of C1, immediately before the second dose, the concentration is decreased by 90%. So what that would turn into is 0.1 times C of 1, which would be decreased by the 90%. Then after the second dose, it's immediately increased by 1.5 milligrams, which will mean that C2 is just equal to 90% of C1 plus the 1.5 milligrams. To continue, since the concentration after the third dose is 90% of the second concentration, and again we're going to increase by 1.5, so C3 is going to be 0.1 of C2, which is the 90%, plus again 1.5. And so the first off, we're going to calculate for C of 1, and since the injection increases the concentration by 1.5, we're going to assume that C1 is 1.5. So then for C2, we're just going to plug in our numbers here into our formula. So the 90% of the 1.5 plus 1.5 gives us 1.65. And we're going to do the same thing for C of 3, which gives us 1.665, which would be the answer to part A. So continuing for part B, we're going to use our same numbers from above. So we have our 1.5. We used our same formula that we saw in part A for C of 2. And I simplified that to 1.5 times 1 plus 0.1. And we're going to continue this pattern. So for C of 3, we're going to have our 0.1 times the 1.5 plus the 90% of the C2, which you can see right here, plus our 1.5 equals, and I simplified it again. And we just keep continuing this pattern. So I went ahead and did it for C of 4 just to show. And then for C of n, after we write all of this out, and we would get 0.1 times n minus 1, I simplified it to here, and we keep simplifying until we get to our final answer here. And then that's going to be your answer for part B. And then for part C, all we're going to do to find the limiting value is find our limit as we go to infinity. So I plug that in, so 5 over 3 times 1 minus 0.1 to the infinity is what it would be. And as n gets larger and larger, this value is ultimately going to go to 0. So C equals 5 over 3 times 1 minus our 0, which is just going to give us 5 over 3.